Hey guys, Parfax here. Today I wanted to bring you a video about the things that you should do when starting ESO. Alright, let's get started. The reason why I've decided to make this video was not that long ago I had a bunch of friends who decided that they wanted to play ESO for the first time. When they started playing, I found myself repeating sort of the same things over and over and over again, and I thought if they didn't know this, I imagine that most players don't either. So one of the first things you'll do once you get out of the tutorial is you're going to want to make your way to your city, your main city. So in the Daggerfall Covenant, my main city is, well, Daggerfall. That is here in Penumbra. Okay? If you are on the Ebonheart side, it's going to bring you to Stonefalls here in Davin's Watch. And then on the AD side, going to bring you to Ardon and here into Volkgard. The first thing you want to do when you get there is you want to go and talk to the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild. The reason for this, it's going to open up two skill lines, the Fighters Guild and the Mages Guild. As you can see, I have my Fighters Guild leveled up. My Mages Guild is level 1. Now, there is a difference between the two in how you level them. The Mages Guild, you'll find books along the world, which are these right here. Now, these are on a add-on that I have, which I can make a video about all the add-ons that I suggest people use. But you find these little books through the world, and it'll level up your Mages Guild. Where Fighters Guild's a little bit different. Fighters Guild's where you're going to want to kill Undead and Daedra, and as you kill them, it'll level up your Fighters Guild, and 10 is the max. Now, if you don't get the Mages Guild quest, that's fine. Your progress will save. So if I hadn't picked up the Mages Guild and I got 40 points into the first level, it would still give it to me when I picked up the Mages Guild. Now, Fighters Guild is different. Since it goes off experience and how many mobs you kill, it will not start to level until you actually pick up the Fighters Guild. If you want to find them, you can find them on your map. And the Fighters Guild has this sword. And then the Mages Guild has this like little circle emblem right here. Right here is the Fighters Guild. And right here's the Mages Guild. You can see they have a little banner hanging outside. Now, eventually you will want to unlock as well the Undaunted skill line, as you can see right here. And this is basically your dungeon skill line. You will unlock this level 45. You'll get a little thing in the mail that says, hey, you've been able to go to the Undaunted Enclave, and you will be able to start leveling up your Undaunted. It is a very important skill line as well, and you basically do that by doing your dailies and stuff like that, which we'll talk about in a little bit. One thing I do want to note when it comes to your Undaunted, and I'll touch on this when I do the daily side of this, but you're going to get keys, but you want to make sure that you don't use those keys until you're at least 160 CP, but we'll touch on that more in a little bit. Okay. This part is one thing that a lot of my friends really struggled with. And that is one of the first things that I would do, and the first things if I ever come back to the game, I do, is I make sure I fill up my guild slots. What that means is you want to hit G, and it's going to bring up this right here. Yours will look a little different, and you probably won't have any guilds here unless you're maybe played before and you have a guild. What you want to do is you want to come down here to this guild finder, and you want to go to Browse Guilds. This application tab will be able to see if you have any like open applications or any active ones. So go down here to the Browse Guilds, and you can see little categories here of type of guilds. Now, what I suggest every new player to do is go down to social. If you're a role player, you can go into the role-playing tab as well. But I suggest people to go to social first, and then go and look for any guild. Now, you're going to see they have what they are, typically like AD, DC, EP, or Ebonheart, Daggerfall, Covenant, and Ultimary Dominion. That really doesn't matter, especially when it comes to PvE. So take that with a grain of salt. That will matter only if you go into Cyrodiil. That is the PvP zone. But I wouldn't worry about that too much. I would read a brief description of each one. So let's see. We have Nirn Guardians here. casual social guild for trading and stuff like that. Read over a few of them. Maybe you want a little medium-sized guild with not that many people, or maybe you're looking for a big guild. And then go ahead and apply, which if you see down here in the bottom, it says apply to guild. It'll bring up this little thing that has a message. Just put maybe like new player looking for people to help me type with the game. And then you just go ahead and hit E and submit. And it'll give you some notifications. It says, hey, look, you submitted to the guild. Then under applications, you can see active applications. And it says Nern Guardians. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. But you don't want to. You want to make sure you leave it up there, obviously. And I would go ahead and get up to 5, because you can have up to 5 active applications. You can also do group PvE. Some of them are more leaning towards raids and stuff like that, which you will not be able to get for a while. But it is very crucial to get as many guilds as you possibly can. Maybe asking yourself why. Well, it does a couple different things. First, they can help you with crafted gear. So let's see if I have I have this crafted gear. I crafted it myself. You see Parfax spin, which is my super awesome named crafter. And you can have somebody possibly craft you a set of gear. Now, in ESO, some people, when it comes to the PvP side, can be kind of trolly and cruel and stuff like that. But for the most part, especially when it comes to the social and PvE side of the game, ESO is one of the friendliest games I've ever played. I can't tell you how many times I've had people craft me gear for free. I didn't have any mats. They have even upgraded it to legendary. I've had that happen probably 10 times when I didn't have the mats. And, people are just very generous in the game, and they will most of the time be willing to craft you a bunch of stuff. Now, don't take advantage of it, obviously, and if you can help people out, make sure you help them out as well. But people are extremely generous, and it's a great way to get crafted gear. Now, being that you're new to the game, you have no idea what to get. Well, let's see if I have any in my inventory here. I don't, so let's go to the bank. Okay, so now we're at the bank, which you can find with this little treasure chest. Okay, and as you can see, if you look at the trait underneath this, says I have Arm Cops Funding's Rage, and you see maximum stamina enchant, and then you'll see training. Now, if you read what training does, it increased the experience gained from kills by 9%. Okay, this goes up 1% for each color. So if I was to go to purple, it'd be 10, and then legendary, it'd be 11, I believe. Now, blue is really all you'll want, but you're not going to have any mats, so really just take what you can get. If you can get somebody to craft you a full set of gear or whatever you're playing, you don't even really need to know what sets you want. Just be like, hey, look, I'm leveling a Stamina Necromancer. Is there any way anybody could help me out and craft me a set of training gear? More times than not, you will be able to find somebody that'll craft you a full set, and it will go off your level. And let's say they'll craft you a level 2 training set. And then maybe you get and you're like, man, it's getting kind of hard to level. And then be like, hey, look, someone craft me a set. It'd be super nice if somebody could craft me a set I'm level 22. And people will be more than willing to help you out and just be like, let them know, hey, look, I'm new. Any help is great. Okay. Now, another thing that is great for guilds is, well, you get a bunch of free ports. What does that mean? Let's go to my guild here. Let's go to the Gaming Council. We're going to go to roster, and we're going to go to Penumbra. Well, I'm not there right now. Let's see. I want to go there. I can right-click it, and I can travel to player. All right, now you'll see my guy is traveling. Whoop. Now I'm going to port to Penumbra. Now this does a couple different things for you. One thing you can do is you do get experience by traveling places. And it is, the same place we were before. But if you wanted to go somewhere else, like Cold Harbor, Stone Falls, Vardenfell, Alakir Desert, you just right-click them, and it will port you to wherever they are at, whatever the closest way shrine is. You get experience off it, and you can go to zones that you've never been to and get sky shards, which we'll touch on here shortly. Now, there is an add-on you can use, which I can cover add-ons in the future, that'll allow you to just bring up this little menu, and it's awesome. And you can go, I want to go to Shadowfen. And you just click it, and it's going to port you to Shadowfen. Now, another great thing that guilds do is a lot of them have different guild events, which can be a great way to meet people and to have fun, because let's be honest, that's what we play MMOs for, is for fun. Okay, next we're going to talk about leveling and what I suggest. So what I suggest, and this can be up to your debate, and I'll give you a pros and a con of it, is to get to 50 as fast as possible. Now, that's done by grinding. You can go and look up grinding guides on YouTube, and I will maybe put out one here shortly. And you want to hit 50 as fast as possible because of rested XP. So this is basically, once you hit 50, you'll start earning champion points, and it's sort of an end game leveling system. That's all changing in the future, but you're still going to have to level your champion points, and you're still going to get rested XP and stuff like that. As you can see, I have 2 million rested XP. You'll get rested XP, I believe it's 400,000 every day for up to 10 days, 10 or 12 days, I can't remember. But once it's filled, you no longer get rested XP. They call it enlightened in ESO, but most people know it as rested. So what this does is it gives you, as you can see, it's an accelerated rate, and it's, I believe, double the XP, and it's basically use it or lose it. So once you get to 50, you can start using your rested XP, which you'll get, like I said, 400,000 daily. And once you use it, then you can either go do something else for your character, or you can just make another character, whatever you want to do. But I believe it's very important to get your character up to 50 as fast as possible, just because of that reason, so you're not wasting it. Now, if you're just going to play it casually and you really don't care about min-maxing in the slightest, then by all means, do your quests, do your main story, and just have fun with the game, because that's really what we're here for. But if you want to make sure you're not wasting that experience, you want to make sure you get to 50 as fast as possible by killing mobs. Now, once you reach level 6, there's going to be something that you should do. So you want to start doing your writ crafting. Your writs are something that will help you with your crafting, and they'll be something to get you a lot of money once you get a little bit farther into the game. You want to start at level 6, because that's the first level you can start it at. Now, I have all of my writs on each of my characters, which is something that you'll want to do. But how you get access to them is once you hit level 6, you want to talk to this girl right here, which will be either in or right outside the Fighters Guild in every of your starter cities. And then you'll want to talk to a guy in here inside the Mages Guild. And you can talk to this guy right here, and he will also give you your writs. They'll give you a little bit of a side quest that you'll have to do, activate each writ, and then once you do the writs, it'll allow you to complete your writs every day. Now, how you actually do those writs is, let's do the Beam Me Up, which is my add-on. We're going to go to Vardenfell, which is where I like to do my writs at, and I'll show you why here shortly. And I'm just going to port there, and we will see you there. All right, so how you actually go do your writs every day is you can go up to a board like this. It'll say Equipment Crafting Writs, which I'm here in Vardenfell, which is one of the best places to actually do your writs. Then there's another one right over here. That one is Equipment Crafting. Then you'll have a second one that says Consumable Crafting. I'm not going to go quite in depth on how to do your writs, There's a couple add-ons you can download to make it absolutely instant, but it's something you want to do at least when you hit level 6 so you can get it started. Okay, one of the things that you want to do while you're going through the world is anytime you see something on the ground you can pick up, for the most part, go ahead and pick it up. So like this iron ore, I can go over here and I can hit E, and boom, I just got 3 different ingredients from it. Now, the only thing that you'll find, so like right here, some jute, I'll go over and pick it up as well, and I got some jute from it. Now, the one thing that you will find, and if you don't have ESO Plus, this can be a big issue, is stuff like this can really cloud up your bank. It takes up a lot of space. Like over here, we have this runestone, and we picked up 2. It can be a lot more than that. You can pick up 3, 4 different items, and it can make your bank absolutely full. But if you do have ESO Plus, you do get this little crafting bag that can have all of your materials. So just look at all this. I mean, it is just tons and tons and tons of stuff that can cloud your bank. So kind of do that at your own risk if you don't have ESO Plus. I do suggest it because ESO Plus is just a good value. It's not pay to win in any form, but it really makes your life a lot easier when you can just go and especially just put all your crafting stuff in that bag. Make sure you pick up that stuff as you go. So as you're going through the world, you're going to see these books on the ground that are kind of lit up blue like this. If you go over to them and hit E, it's going to read them. If you look in the top left, my Mage's Guild just went up a little bit. Now this mainly only applies to magic users. Not many stamina users actually use the Mage's Guild, but a lot of races can go either way, magic or stamina. And for you completionists out there, you're going to want to complete it anyway. I have not done the Mage's Guild on this character, but still, even when I'm going through the world, if I see one, I make sure I bend down and read it just so that I have it, just in case. You never know. So another thing you're going to want to do is get sky shards as you're going around. Let me show you what a sky shard looks like. Okay, so you can see on my map here, there's this little sky shard looking thing, and that's where right here. And when you go up to it, you can hit E, and you'll collect the sky shard, and every 3 sky shards will give you a skill point. So anytime you see them, you want to make sure you get as many as possible to get more skill points. Now we've talked about sky shards and lore books. The next thing we want to talk about is actually leveling up your horse. Okay, so I'm going to go to the horse trainer, and then I'll show you that. Okay, one of the first things you also want to do is make sure you go up to a stable master. So you can go to the stable master here by looking on your map, and every city will have one, and you'll have this little horse icon, and it'll say stable master on it. You're going to go up to him, and this is how you upgrade your horse. So as you can see here, it is 250 gold, upgrade it, and it is a 20-hour cooldown, I believe. Every time that you hit it, you cannot upgrade it for 20 hours. You can buy stuff in the cash shop, which I don't recommend. But if you are getting ESO Plus, you'll get 1,500 crowns a month. And I would use 1,000 of those to upgrade your horse. I would upgrade speed first. If you're going to be doing PvP, then you go stamina if you're doing Cyrodiil. But if you're not and you're just kind of going around, then I would go carry capacity second and then stamina third. Okay, and that's what I'd use my crowns on. That's what I've used my crowns on pretty much most of my characters, is whenever I create a new character, I use my crowns to get my speed up, and then I train my horse every day. Now, if you have a horse and you can't figure out how to find it, if you hit U, you can then go all the way down here to mounts, and here are your mounts. So I have this mount, and then you just click on it, little check mark come up, and then you'll be able to use that mount. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to make sure you do, or at least try to do every day, is a few of your dailies. So the 2 things that I would make sure that I do before you hit level 5 is I would do, I hit P, I'm hit P, and you come up here, it's going to be in your group tab. I would go down to your dungeon finder, and make sure you do your random dungeon every day. It gives you a lot of experience. Now, it's not going to give you 100,000. It's just 100,000 because I am level 50. But it'll give you a certain amount of experience. It'll give you a little bit of supplies, which is really good. And in your early levels, it's a full level to do a random dungeon, and you're going to get a skill point in it if you haven't done it before. So they're super amazing. Do them every day. It's just a good thing to do. And then I would do your battlegrounds as well. It'll again give you some supplies, which is good, and give you a lot of experience. Plus, it'll let you have some fun in PvP. If you really don't want to do PvP, you don't have to, but it's a pretty big source of XP that you can do, and it's a lot of fun. Now, once you hit 45, you're going to get that note that I told you, that letter, and it's going to bring you here. You're going to do a quest, and it's going to give you a key. Now, the keys will, you'll be able to unlock specific things. So you go here, Pledge Master, and you can do random boxes and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into exactly which ones have what and what's good, but the main thing to know is you're going to get these keys. Now, this is a daily quest. So you can see I can get a quest from this guy. Spam E. This person. And I think it's this quartermaster. Let me go here. Just abandon these. No, it's not. So it's that person, that person. Oh, yeah, and then the Pledge Master. So you pick up those. It's going to be a random dungeon for you to do, and make sure you complete them every day. Now, there's hard modes and normal modes, but while you're leveling, you don't want to worry about that. You just want to make sure you try to complete them. They're going to give you keys. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but you want to make sure you don't unlock your keys until you are 160 CP. And why is that? So when you open up the chests, it's going to give you shoulder pads, like these Balrogs right here. Now, as you can see, mine are level 50, CP 160. These are, you can only get a certain amount of these per day. And it's very important that you wait until you're 160 CP for champion points, because that is the highest current level in the game. So, or at least for gear wise. So when you unlock it, it'll be 160 CP level 50 gear, where if you were to unlock it at 45 when you first get it, it'll be level 45 gear. And it won't be extremely useful while you're leveling, because it doesn't take much time to get from 45 champion point 160. Is it, if you do it correctly, it can be in the same day. Or if you're just being slow, it might not take you that long. So you want to make sure you save your keys until you're 160. Once you're 160, open them up like no other. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is crafting. And it's kind of one of the last things I'm going to talk about here. But it's very important, and this is another thing that a lot of new players or my buddies that joined, they didn't really want to do, but I really stressed on. Okay, I'm going to hop on my crafter, and let's see in a second. So when it comes to crafting, there's just a couple things you want to make sure that you do. So I'm here at a workbench, and instead of selling all of your random pieces of gear, what I actually suggest is having a specific character and then actually deconstructing those. So you can see a couple things right here. You can see I have this little symbol here that says increased inspiration. This just means that when you deconstruct it, it's going to give you more experience towards whatever type of crafting you are. Now, I'm level 50 woodworking on this character, so it's not going to give me any more because I'm already at cap. But if I deconstruct this, I just click on it, hit E, and then I hit R down here, deconstruct. Deconstructs it, and as you can see, it gives me a little bit of mats. The mats isn't what you're typically worried about right now. You're just going to be wanting to get this to level 50. And another little icon here is this ornate. Now, with it, if you see, it says this item sells for 180. I actually wouldn't deconstruct them. I would go over to any vendor, and I specifically sell those just because they actually give you a decent amount of gold per piece. Then you can have, let's say, this piece I don't want to use. I can just go ahead and deconstruct it. Same thing with these. And I've deconstructed a bunch, and as you can see, it's given me quite a bit of resources and stuff like that back. Now, when you're leveling, it's not going to give you nearly as much. More important thing is you're going to be leveling it up. Why? So the main reason you want to do this, and I have this all on one character. I can show you my crafting skill line here. Craft. Blacksmithing, it's at 50. Clothing, enchanting, jewelry crafting, woodworking. These are the ones you want to specifically level up on one character. Now, the main reason for this is for 2 nodes specifically. It's this wood extraction, so whenever you're gathering, you can get the most out of your materials. While you're gathering throughout the world, I would not refine any of them. I would wait till you can put 3 points into here before you refine it. That way you get the most amount of materials out of it as possible. And then this resin expertise. So basically what this does is whenever you go to improve an item, go to improvement. If I want to improve this bow, okay, it's a training bow. Right now it takes 8 for me to go from purple to legendary. Now, if I didn't have any points into that, it would actually take the full 16. So when it comes to your gear, this is your gear grind most of the time. You got to get your gear, and then you need to make everything legendary. Now, best way to do this is to deconstruct everything, and I wouldn't upgrade things specifically to legendary. I'd wait on that, but that's the main reason, because if you go to a dungeon and you get a blue staff that you really wanted, it's from a dungeon, let's say you get, I don't know, warlock, you get it, there's no way for you to upgrade it without paying an extremely big amount without having a max crafter. It's something that a lot of people overlook, and they think, well, we'll do it later, and it's not that hard to get your crafters up there. And you do this and do your writs and deconstruct everything. It won't take a lot of time. Now, if you want to, you can save up all your materials, don't deconstruct anything, or even have somebody that's near you or one of your friends join you. And what you can do is they can craft things, they can trade it to you, and you can deconstruct it. You just can't craft it then deconstruct it yourself, because it won't give you the most amount of experience. But if you hit an experience scroll, so if I'd hit this 50% experience scroll down here, it would actually give me 50% increase to my crafting and gathering stuff as well. So let's say you're out grinding mobs, trying to hit 50 as fast as possible, you get a full inventory full of loot. Put all of it in the bank, and maybe have a scroll running on your crafter. So you go in there, you popped it, you deconstruct everything, and get a bunch of levels, and try to get everything to 50 as fast as possible. You can do this on your main, but it takes so many skill points. Now, I don't even have, like, hirelings and stuff like that. Keen Eye is really useless. But if you look at all the skill points I need, so I need 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So you need 19 points just in woodworking. If you see, I have 150 skill points in this character, and I barely have anything into any of my stuff. Look, I don't have any skill points into there. This character is basically just I do have a little bit of points in my armor here. This character's basically only crafting. And when it comes to alchemy and provisioning, you want to max these on each character, especially alchemy. This is going to basically have 100% uptime on your potions once you get medicinal use. This one right here, if you put 3 points into it, it will make your potions last 30% longer, and you will, the buffs you get from your potions, you'll basically have up 100% of the time. It's super important to do that on all your characters. But for this part, it's basically just talking about the jewelry crafting, enchanting, blacksmithing, woodworking. Enchanting is the least used, and you really don't necessarily need it. So if you don't want to put any priority on this, you don't have to. A lot of times you can find runes on the guild traders for about as much as you can make them anyway, but I always want to make sure that I have my enchanting up as high as possible. I don't even have the extraction, because I don't extract things, for the most part anyway when it comes to glyphs. And even when I do, it's grains, and you'll get so many materials, you really don't matter. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about is add-ons. The last part of this video, and I originally wasn't going to touch on it, but I think it's so important for people to do and understand that I was going to put it in this video anyway, and I might have even mentioned that I was going to put it in the video, but it's add-ons. So there's basically a couple add-ons that I want to make sure everybody has. The main ones are your sky shards, your lore books, and destinations. I haven't talked about destinations, but destinations is basically an add-on anytime you find a treasure map or when you do your writs, that it will have those in there. You also want to do this lazy writ crafter. This will help you with your writs, and then go down here, bottom. Nope, let's go up. Writ crafter, and then daily alchemy. So if you do the daily alchemy, it'll allow you to do all of your writs and it'll do it instantly. You just go up to the thing. If you have it, it'll just craft it for you and then close the window when it's done on everything other than the alchemy one. And just when it's done, all you have to do is exit out. Super easy, super quick. It makes your writs go super easy. Quick. Now, one last add-on that I really like is Beam Me Up. I slightly mentioned it before, but it's basically an add-on to where when you open up your chat, there'll be a little waste shrine icon. You click it, and it'll show you all the places you can teleport by just clicking a button. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. It was kind of a longer video, and I wanted to make sure that it was a video that kind of covered a lot of the things that you should do when you start the game. Now, I know I didn't cover everything. There's still a massive amount of things I can go over because the game is so big and has so many things to do in it, which is one of the things that people love in it. The last thing I wanted to say is, above all else, have fun. If you literally take nothing from this video, you don't do any of it, but you have a blast, that is all that matters. I'm somebody that wants to not even just min-max, just kind of, my time is important. So I want to make sure that I'm not wasting time, not leveling my horse or wasting a bunch of rested XP and stuff like that. And I hope this video helps you guys out and maybe you can take 1, 2, or 3 things away from it. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see me do, put them in the comments below. I'll be putting out a lot more ESO content. I know it's been a long time since I've really put out a lot of ESO content. Most of you guys probably have never even heard of me. I used to put out content a long time back. But if you like the video, go ahead and put a like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Tell me why in the comment section below. Thanks, guys. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.